Hi everyone, welcome back to the nest for another episode of Project Magpie. But before we start today, I just want to talk about this. Alistair asked me a question about the tool we used for splitting the spot welds, and it's not a specific tool. It's in fact a cutting board blade. This is it. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just try and... It's a very, very thin blade. And what you do is that they're inserted into a panel or a mould, and then you put on top what you want to cut, a cover over that, you roll the whole thing through two rollers and it chops out whatever you need to chop out. They're incredibly sharp, and all we did was cover one end in cardboard and tape and wrap it all up so it were safe to hold and leather it. And we've only ever used the one, and it just doesn't really get dull. It's a quality product. Got mine off Big Nige, who's an engineer. Thanks Nige. And he just brought me some offcuts one day. And they're brilliant. So if you know anybody that does cutting boards, try your engineering shops for cutting board blades. I'm sure they'll have loads of offcuts. They're brilliant. Okay. So I hope that answers your question, Alistair. So what we're doing today? Well, we got that flitch panel in, and that's ready to weld, but we can't weld it yet because we need to do the inner door pillar, because the two mate together, and we need to make sure they're both in the same place, both matched, before we weld either one of them. So we'll do that today. Let's crack on. So the first thing we need to do is separate the lower dash rail from the pillar. Now we'll remove the spot welds from the door seal edge. Some people would ask why we don't cut out the entire pillar all in one piece and start from scratch. But I like to cut individual panels out, because once we've cut this inner pillar out and we slide the new panel in, the outer pillar is going to provide the reference for exactly where it fits. And then of course once the inner pillar is welded, that will provide the reference for replacing the outer pillar. So that's why I like to do it just one panel at a time. That's just my preference. Okay, we've got this piece out of here now, which we needed to do because before we put this piece in, we're going to have to sit this in loosely because we'll never get it in afterwards. So let's do some cleaning up and get these pieces together. So now we've got all this bit cleaned up, we need to place this where it needs to be, just slot it inside there before we can put this section on, because once this section's on, we'll never get this in. So this can be put in and tack welded first. Let's get on with that. We're going to put the outside section on so we can make sure that this meets correctly before we tack this up. Now we've got both panels in, it's just a little bit of trimming to do along the edge of the flitch panel before we weld it. So, those two panels fit a treat. So in the next video, we'll be getting that flitch panel welded in. So thanks you all for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.